Hi beauty babes, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, please consider subscribing. I think you'll like it a lot. Come on, subscribe to my channel. Come on, join the family. Over here we like to do reviews. We like to have a little beauty talk therapy, and we like to talk all things makeup. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the new Wet n Wild Photo Focus Illuminating Foundation. Now, all of y'all know the regular foundation is my jam. I have talked about it on several occasions, and I also did a video on that. If I can find it, I'll have it linked because it's been out for a while. Wet n Wild came out with this new Dewy foundation. They came out with a couple of new products. Another product that I am going to use in collaboration with this is the hydrating primer. This is the Photo Focus hydrating primer. So I did use these two together today. It's not like me to try a primer and a foundation together on the same day, but I figured since they're from the same brand, they'll work well together, right? All of the products that I'm using today are all Wet n Wild products. So let's go ahead and jump right into the video so you can see what I'm thinking about this foundation. All right, so to get started, I'm going to start by priming my face. I'm priming using the new Wet n Wild priming serum. This is the Prime Focus. It's the hydrating serum. I have combo skin, so I'm really curious to see how this works for me as far as like my skin goes. Here we go with the summer glow, right? So the way I like to apply primers like this is I like to drop it in my hand and then put it on like I would my oils. It smells really nice. It smells like kind of like it has like a watermelon fragrance to it. So just a heads up, my brows are by Wet n Wild. I use the Wet n Wild Rectangle Brow Pencil, and I use the shade Medium Brown. That's how I got these brows. My eyes, however, are not by Wet n Wild, and a review for the palette on my eye look is going to be right here on the cards. This primer does give you like a little bit of a tacky finish. I'm going to do like the whole IG thing. I'm going to put little tiny dots everywhere because I feel like I didn't get enough that first go round. So just so that all the areas are, you know, getting the love and attention that they need. So you guys know I like to do concealer and bronzer with my foundation. So let's talk about the concealer and bronzer that I'm going to be using. I don't usually use this concealer stick, but since I'm trying to do all Wet n Wild products, I just, you know, I have to use their concealer. So the concealer that I have is in the shade You're a Natural, and then the bronzing and contour stick that I'm going to use is Where's Walnut. What I'm going to do right here, I don't really need that much, but this one I kind of got rid of. I'm going to highlight all the areas that I usually highlight using the concealer stick, and then I'm going to bronze the areas that I usually use bronzer. I hear that doing it this way helps you not use as much product. Is that true? I don't know. I really don't know. So now I'm going to go into with my foundation. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy foundation. So this foundation comes just like the other one, and it has like a little paddle. So I'm just going to use that to add the foundation to all the areas that I don't have concealer and bronzer. I'm really curious about this. A dewy foundation with a hydrating primer is not usually my go-to, but you never know, it might be something that I enjoy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend in my highlighter and my concealer first, and then I'll go in with my bronzer. That's just how I like to do it. I just find that it blends better. And I am using my Juno Cloud Sponge. This is the cream looking one. And I'm going to blend out my foundation first. The only thing that I will say about like this is actually the concealer or the primer. Some people don't believe in primers, but I do, and I feel that like a good primer can help your skin look nice, smooth, and flawless. And sometimes like if the primer is like not that great or is like missing certain components, it can have the opposite effect. So like I feel like this primer just hydrated my skin. It didn't really like cover up pores. So I did have like a little bit of a pore issue, I feel. But again, that could just be like all in my head. You know, me being picky. But so far, it's looking pretty good. Okay, so now with my Luxie angled brush, I'm going to blend out my contour. And I tend to like to push my contour up. I love the Wet n Wild brand as a whole because I feel like they offer inexpensive products that are of good quality, you know? To set my concealer, I'm going to use one of the Wet n Wild pressed powders. I'm going to use the one in warm beige because this is the lighter one that I had. My Walmart and CVS didn't carry many colors, so this is what I was left with. So I'm just going to take the other end of my favorite bronzing brush and I'm going to go in with that powder and set my concealer. I did do a little bit of contouring there, so I do want that to be set anywhere that had the concealer. So this just helps to set it all, and it's giving me more of like a natural look, in my opinion. You know, what do you guys think? I feel like I have like a natural highlight going on. I don't think I'm gonna set the foundation. I don't know. It's a little tacky, and I don't want it to, I want it to last. I want to give it its best shot. Mommy. So what I do think I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly dust a little bit of the Photo Focus powder in the shade Golden Tan around my face just to give this foundation its best shot. When I say I'm taking the very smallest bit, like you can barely see it on this brush, and this is just to, you know, set the foundation. A little bit of powder, just because I do get like greasy and I want to give this foundation its best shot, right? So now Wet n Wild revamped their blushes, and I picked up 3 of them. I have the shade Mellow Wine, Pearlescent Pink, and Pinch Me Pink. And I think for this look, I'm going to go in with Mellow Wine. Mellow Wine is actually one of my favorites. I do own the old formula. Or I do own the old one that they used to have in that little square container. Like, I have that blush. So I am familiar with this shade, and I do like this shade. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that to the cheeks. Okay, now I do want to go into bronzer. The Wet n Wild bronzer that I have is the one in Wet Shady Beaches. These are the Color Icon bronzers, and I'm going to use my favorite bronzer brush, and I'm going to go in with this because I've been using this bronzer like nobody's business. It's so good. Like, a lot of the times these brands don't have a lot of shades that I can wear. With these bronzers, I'm so glad that Wet n Wild had enough shades to match me, because a lot of these brands, especially when it comes to like drugstore, they don't have a lot of accommodating like darker powders for bronzing. For example, Physicians Formula. Physicians Formula has like that butter or that like cabana bronzer. I can't remember what it's called because I can't use it. But the darkest shade doesn't even work for me. So imagine anyone darker than me. Like, none of us can use it, and it really bothers me. That's why I don't typically support Physicians Formula, because I can't wear their stuff anyways. So I don't buy like their anything else, pretty much. Now for highlighter, I'm going in with the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder. This is in the shade Precious Petals. When this first dropped, this was the most popular highlighter of life. Like, it was just, when I say it was everywhere, it was everywhere. So I'm going in with a Sephora highlighting brush. This is in number 98. I'm going in with that highlighter. Face is not lit. Boom. I didn't even wet my face. So I'm just adding that to the high points of my cheeks. So now that we have that, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to my lips. For lips, they also have new packaging for their lipsticks, which I'm so happy about. Like, the old packaging was so cheap looking. These look great. Their moisturizing ones are in the white packaging, and the matte ones are in black. I think today we're gonna go for Bare It All. And I am going to use this lip liner by Wet n Wild. This is the gel lip liner, and I'm using Gone Burgundy. This was the only one that was like, okay, there's very few shades that match me. So let's do these lips. I will say, if you're going to wear the matte ones, make sure you exfoliate your lips because it's definitely emphasizing the parts that I need to exfoliate. So to finish this look off, I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild Prime Water. This is a 3-in-1 prep, set, and refresh. So I'm using the fragrance Rose, and yeah, take off my mic. Alright guys, so I'm doing my first check-in and I'm using my phone. It's been a while. You guys saw I finished doing my makeup at about 12:30. It's now, hold on. It's now 4:05. Kind of looks weird on the screen. Well, it's 4:05 p.m. So I've had this foundation on for about roughly 5 hours, almost 5 hours, because I did 12:30. So 12, 1, 2, 3, 12, no, 4 hours, sorry. Can't count. Okay, so I've had this foundation on for about 4 hours. This is the Luminous foundation, so if you do see a little bit of shine, that's what you're supposed to see. Sorry, it's supposed to be shiny. So this is what it's looking like. Sorry, my fan is on. It's kind of warm in here. I like to be comfortable. Okay, so this is what the foundation is looking like. Excuse my stash. Normally I would have handled that prior to, but I didn't. So this is what we're looking like. It actually looks really good. No touch-ups. I'm a little greasy around the nose, just a little bit. But again, in my opinion, since I did do a hydrating primer, I wasn't expecting it to hold up like that great because I do get oily in my T-zone. So so far so good. We're liking it. Check-in number 2 to come. All right, good evening. It is now, oh shoot, it is now 9:37 p.m. I don't know why that looks strange on here, but maybe it'll look right on my computer. I don't know. So it's 9:37 in the evening. I've had this on since 12:30. Yes. Okay, so I've been waiting to wash my face. Hashtag dedication. It literally feels like I have on nothing. The only reason I even remembered that I need to wash my face is the fact that I have on mascara, and mascara tends to irritate me in the evenings. Comment down below if that happens to you. So it's like a constant reminder, like, all right, girl, you gotta wash your face. So I'm about to wash my face right now. And overall, let's do a rundown of this foundation. I love it. It's this is the Dewy foundation, and even like in my nose area, it didn't grease up as bad as I thought it was going to. I actually think it looks really nice. My skin looks flawless. It kind of reminds me of a it reminds me of the other one. The dewiness isn't too dewy to the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, I need a mattifying primer, or I need a mattifying setting spray. It's just, I don't know. I like the way it looks. I know, I'm a grandma. I am so tired. I would highly suggest it. It's inexpensive. What? I think I spent like $8. It's no more than $10. I know that. If I find the price, I will put it up on the screen somewhere. But I know I didn't spend more than $10 on it. You get a nice full medium coverage because there's a little bit of, you know, buddies peeking through. You get a nice hydrating look. And this is after 10 hours of wear, no touch-ups. None. I didn't touch up anything. Held on to my blush pretty well. I think it's pretty gone around here, and that's because I've been eating. Yeah. Even around my nose. Looks pretty good. It's pretty good. Not a lot of emphasizing of anything. So would I suggest it? Yes. Highly suggest you picking it up. Now I'm going to go wash my face and go to bed. Good night. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you all enjoyed this review and demo on the Wet n Wild foundation. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you would hit the subscribe button. Your girl is trying to grow in 2020 and I do need your help to do that. So come on, just hit the subscribe button. So until next time, beauties, stay blessed.